you know it was installed correctly years ago when it was installed, so it's very important. Okay, so now we'll come back. You can see that sewer pretty clear there. A little buildup there, a little calcium buildup around the side. Not a big deal. See how those connections are really smooth. They're very smooth. There's another one right there, see? And so there's really not much misalignment going on there whatsoever. Another one, just in great shape. So basically what I'm looking for is those misalignments, cracks, cracking, bellies. You know, you see a lot of these older homes with pretty big bellies sometimes. You know what a belly is?
No.
That's where your connections are here and here at my elbow, and then the pipe settles in the middle and holds water, you know, for the whole distance.
Okay.
A lot of times, you see it much more these days with the PVC pipe. People tend to lay too fast. So when they're bedding the ground for this pipe, they do it real fast, and you know, because I think they think, what can go wrong? It's PVC, but a lot of times I had one about a week ago that had a 34-foot belly in it. 34 feet of just holding water. So there's nothing that can be done about that. You got to dig it up and put a new line in. So there's a little bit of debris here, probably from, you know, the pitch not being 100% what it was when it was installed. No big deal. What you can do is, when your son gets in here, is just turn all the cold water faucets on for 20 minutes easy. And flush toilets as they're going, it'll flush all this stuff right out of there.
Great, okay.
That's not a big deal. That one there is probably your most offset one I've seen yet. See how you can see that lip? But still, it's not bad. And that will also, flushing the line will also get that debris out of the cast iron, which is a little bit more built up than this.
So just water, no like additives of any kind?
No, I
Okay.
don't ever recommend anything like that. I know people do, but I think you need to maintain your sewer line, and without those harsh chemicals that do a lot of damage to the metal pipe.
Okay.
So this here, if you had any other issues, I would be telling you where this connection is too, because this is your cast to crack.
Yep.
And if you ever had to replace the whole thing, you'd have to know where that's at also, right outside your foundation wall. But with your issues being very minimal, you don't really have anything to worry about. And when you see water sitting in a pipe like that, you got to remember that my camera is only 1 inch and 1/8 in diameter. So it might look deep, but it's nothing.
Okay.
Yep. See, even that little bit of water that I put through there with my camera swishing around cleaned a lot of that out. So I would call that, what happens with cast iron, well, with crack, it just deteriorates, right? And those connections, those coupling connections, is how your tree root gets in, because they find little holes, you know, to feed on. With cast iron, it scales. So that pipe on the inside scales and falls on the bottom of your pipe on the inside. And when it's real bad, you'll see, sometimes I'm pushing the scale out of the way so I can get my camera out. It's pretty bad.
Okay.
but I would call this moderate to moderate heavy scale, which is normal for this age. Doesn't really mean that the walls are getting thin, you know, yet. It's in pretty good shape. Here it's a little bit heavier, and that's typical as I'm coming back closer to here, closer to the washer and all that. It's a little more typical to be a little bit heavier scale.
Okay.
But you've got a lot of time on this pipe before you have any issues, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. And we're out. That's very good. So the only thing I'm gonna recommend is that you do flush that out, and then because of the age of the pipe and the scale of the cast, I would say that you have a camera inspection like every 4 to 5 years, just to stay on top of what's